Sunday Live Start Sit Show, week 14. For a lot of us, it's win and get in. For the lucky some, it is a kickback, and maybe it's a second bye week, getting ready for the week 15 bye. For some of us, it's win or go home, or maybe you're headed off to Mexico a little early this season. Hopefully not. We're going to get it done for you right now on the week 14 Sunday Live Razzball Start Sit Show. What's up, everybody? Good morning. We got another Hecto box. That's right, folks, for the second time in Razzball history, and second time in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We have got it done. Matt from the streets going with the old Splash Brothers. I'll take it. We have a special morning here on the program. I'll let Bob handle that if you'd like to. Otherwise, week 14 is among us, gentlemen. It is go time. We have 6 teams on bye. Scotty Eminger coming in hot already with the super chat. Scott will get right to you after some pleasantries. The Broncos, Colts, Patriots, Ravens, Texans, and Commanders all on a bye this week. That's a lot of firepower in fantasy football. Gotta hate that from the NFL. They have to know that fantasy football is driving the industry at this point, and to put a week 14 bye before our playoffs, not a good look. Don't love that. Let's go around the horn very quickly as everybody starts filing in. Again, this is the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. You can jump in here with any of your start-sit questions for Week 14 and heading into the playoffs. If you're looking ahead, you can go and check out an earlier episode we had this week. Jeff broke down some Week 15 look-aheads along with the rest of our articles this week, so you can kind of beat the waiver wire if you need to there. Of course, during the week, you can find all of our content on X at Razzball NFL. Subscribe right here to the YouTube channel, the Razzball Fantasy Football YouTube show. Subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any of our updates or shows. Those are repurposed onto the podcast side for the audio, the Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast, anywhere you listen to your music and audio, and all of our articles and exclusive tools available for you for free at football.razzball.com. Dave, Matt, Jeff, Derek, and Bob with myself, Sky, on a Hecto box once again, heading into the week 14 preliminary playoffs for fantasy football. Gentlemen, we'll go around the circle real quick. What's one thing, one player, one game, one situation you're hoping for, looking to see? Dave, I'll start with you. Good morning, and bless her strong, my man.
Good morning. I think we have more people here than I do on my rosters this week. So, which one do you want to be inserted into my lineup?
I'll be a flex.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Really hoping some of the high-scoring games that we're expecting will be to help bolster the points. You know, especially if we're in tournaments and things where a lot of the results are points-driven as much as records-driven. So Buffalo and the Rams could do us a favor. Cincy and Dallas, it should be a high-scoring game. So.
Maddie, how about you?
Not here to talk football today. Pearl Jam has announced 10 more shows to support the Dark Matter tour. So in early 2025, they're back on the road. I have entered the lottery for 2 shows in Hollywood, Florida at the Hard Rock Live. So turn it over to Jeff for football. I'm in a different Pearl Jam zone, and I will focus shortly. Again, I'm here so I don't get fined, and let's move on.
Matt, without description, you and I have talked about this at length. We don't have time. Nobody wants to get fired on the end of the season. Without description, your favorite Pearl Jam album?
About 10.
Obviously. Jeff, how about you, buddy? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm looking forward to all these makeshift running back committees to see which one's going to come out on top to help everybody get into the playoffs.
Nice. Running back committees late in the season have some handcuffs starting today. Love to see that. Good thing Bob was ahead of the game on that a few weeks ago. So hopefully you've stored your handcuffs and you're playing, 5 of them are getting starts today? Derek, how about you?
Yeah, unlike Matt, I am not putting myself into a lottery for Pearl Jam tickets, but I do wish you the best of luck. No, much like Dave, with a limited schedule, I mean, there are a couple good matchups. He mentioned Buffalo Rams and Cincinnati Dallas, which should really help a lot of teams, but there's a lot of other matchups too with players, which I suspect we're going to get questions on. And there's a lot of question marks in what we're going to see today. So I think this is going to be a pretty challenging show, to be honest with you. A lot of, names out there that we would necessarily be or usually be auto starts may not be. So it'll be interesting to see how we all dissect the schedule today.
Boss, good morning. How about yourself?
I think it was Spider-Man when it said great power comes with great responsibility. And like having the power and the wherewithal to get all the Braylon Allens and the Zach Charbonnet and all those guys. And now you're stuck starting that. You have to figure out who to start. And like, honestly, like Barb, Braylon Allen, you go online and you just see so many like, oh man, you just won your fantasy league. And then you have your other guys like Tyrone Tracy. And I'm just like, I honestly have never I feel like a ping pong. I just go back and forth. I'm like, I don't know who to start. So I'm kind of interested to see how it goes in the start today because it's going to probably help. Maybe you guys have traditional nuggets. I'll probably hate everything. Kick off. I'm excited to watch my decision be wrong.
Hey, Sky, is it just me or is Bob really choppy?
I'm on it. Bob, you're a little bit choppy this morning. We'll give you maybe a lengthy pause, either a restart or just come back into the chat. You're just kind of fading in and out. We heard you. You're very excited to start Isaac Correndo like everybody else today, but give you a second there. All right, everybody. Good morning. Welcome again to the Razzball Fantasy Football Show. We got this going on here. Scotty jumping in real quick with the super chat right off the bat. We see another super chat from Matthew as well. So Matthew, appreciate you. We will get you in just a second as well. Scott, good morning. WTF. Jeff, do you know what that stands for? WTF?
Am I allowed to say this on air?
No. WTF is the NFL thinking with 6 teams on bye. I hit that at the top of the program. We totally agree with you, Scott. It's a rough one here, unfortunately. But hey, we roll with the punches here at Razzball. We're going to do it with you as well. Half PPR. We got TJ Hawkinson or Ferguson coming back for the Dallas Cowboys. Been out a handful of weeks. So we got a tight end question first. And then at flex, we're looking at Pollard or Jennings, Tony Pollard or Jawan Jennings. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, as always. Bob, as we come around to you here, please make sure that you let everybody know what the super chat is all about here with our good friends at Good Sports once we get to your turn. Dave, we'll go to you first here. We're looking at Hawkinson or Ferguson, and then Pollard or Jennings. Let's get it going, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I believe WTF originated at McDonald's, and it stands for Where's the Fries? So just wanted to clear that up.
We'll take it. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. And
is that real?
Don't
that sounds real. That sounds real.
That sounds real. All right.
Don't know what the NFL is thinking.
If it's said online in any capacity, it's real.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook a few years ago, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yep. So for the tight end question, I saw something from Tom Pelissaro earlier this morning that I really was hoping to see, saying they're going to try to get TJ Hawkinson on the field a ton today. I like Jake Ferguson a lot, but if I've got a choice between Ferguson and Hawkinson, I'm going to go Hawkinson most of the time. At flex, Pollard or Jennings, I'm probably going to flex the running back here over Jennings. I like Jennings this week, but I think I'm going to take Tony Pollard against Jacksonville.
Give me Hawkinson. Bold predictions. First touchdown of the season comes today. And I would throw $5 on over 1.5 touchdowns for Hawkinson if I was a betting man. I don't love Ferguson coming back off injury. I like the player. I like the player much better with Dak. Dallas will have to throw a lot to stay with Cincinnati. But give me Hawkinson for at least 1 touchdown. And I'm, as much as I hate to say these two things, Sky, I'm sorry. Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm not even considering 49er players at this point. And Pollard is going to absolutely demolish the Jaguars. So, gents, I'm sorry, but this is for Scott and not for you.
Fair enough.
As it should be.
Speaking of which, there's a Pearl Jam song called Not For You. Google that when you guys have a chance.
Count it.
I'm going to go with Ferguson. The Bengals are giving up the third most points to tight ends recently over the past month, so I think he'll be highly involved. And then for the flex, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard. The Jags just can't stop anybody.
Derek.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ferguson as well. I mean, it is a little bit of some uncertainty there. I mean, he has missed a few games, but like Jeff said, Cincinnati's very friendly to tight ends. This should be a game script that requires the Cowboys to throw, and there's still a little bit of uncertainty with CeeDee Lamb. So the next man up in that passing game needs to be Ferguson. So I like him getting into the end zone and maybe a few extra targets. So I'm going to go with Ferguson. And frankly, if you look at their upcoming schedule, we're starting to think about the playoffs. Ferguson's a really nice tight end as well. There's some normal tight ends we start, which don't have very good matchups, but Ferguson actually does. So I like to see him start to get into a groove and roll right into the playoffs. For flex, I'm going with Pollard as well for many of the same reasons that have already been mentioned, both by Jeff and by Matt. I'm really concerned about anyone in a San Francisco uniform, frankly. And if I have a equal or decent option, I'm going to go the other way. So I do like Pollard against the Jaguars. Running backs against the Jaguars usually do pretty well. So give me Pollard at flex, and again, Ferguson at tight end.
Derek, are you the one responsible for jotting these down?
I am, yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that as always, my friend. This is tough because, I think Luke Schutenmaker has done a really good job over the last few weeks, and I think he might have earned a little bit more reps. But at the same time, the Cincinnati matchup for tight ends is a smash, and so it's hard to fade him. I'm gonna go with Ferguson because of that, and then Pollard. And by the way, I might be on an island here, but I think the 49ers show up today. There's too much pride. Gary Kubiak stopped by this week to talk to Kyle about some of the things that were going on. I'm excited. I think that the 49ers come out and play ball, but I'm going to still lean Pollard against the Jags.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ferguson by a nose. I think Hawkinson also plays really well today, so I think you're in good shape with both those guys, but I like Ferguson there. And I'm going to go Pollard as well. Gentlemen, does it change anything if Jawan Jennings was 1998 J.J. Stokes?
No.
Would you be more? No. Okay. Just curious. All right. I'm going to go Pollard there as well and Hawkinson. Matthew's got another one coming in here for us as well. Good morning, Matthew. And thank you, Scott, always. Good morning, Matthew. And thank you for your contribution as well. Gents, 10-team full PPR. Need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. We're setting the lineup, gentlemen. Garendo, Pollard, Irving, Hunt, Evans, Higgins, and Hill. And it sounds like we do have a little bit of feedback. So, gentlemen, please, for the people, when you're not speaking, just throw yours on mute real quick. Once again, we're setting a lineup here. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex. Garendo, Pollard, Irving, Hunt, Evans, Higgy, and Hill. Dave?
For the 2 running backs, I'm going to go with Pollard and Irving. Irving has just been kind of set it and forget it. I just like the Pollard matchup against Jacksonville too much to go Garendo over him. I do like Garendo. It's a nice problem to have. And Hunt, I'm kind of fading because Isaiah Pacheco is back. For the 2 wide receivers, I'm going to go with T. Higgins and Tyreek Hill. I think Evans has got a pretty good matchup, but the Raiders are a little bit surprisingly good against wideouts. So I'm going to take Higgins and Hill as my wide receivers in this case. And thanks for the super chat, Matt.
Bob said the feedback's coming from me. Bob's incorrect. I don't have a cell phone or anything near the computer. So, Bob, I think you're wrong. I think it's probably from your cat throwing up on your microphone this morning.
I deleted everybody and checked. So, and I muted everybody and went through a little bit of the sound thing. And when I muted yours, there was less feedback. So, you know what? I made an assumption.
I've got some feedback for you, but I'll save that until I'm really angry this morning. Garendo is going to be a massive disappointment for folks today. Mark it down. Second bold prediction of the week. So give me Pollard, Irving, and the 3 wide receivers, Evans, Higgins, and Hill.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I'm going to go Pollard and Irving, and then the 3 receivers. I think Tyreek Hill has a really nice day, actually.
Oh, we're due.
Yeah. So before I get to my answer, Dave, I didn't catch your 5 names.
Yeah, sorry, I left out the flex. So yeah, I agree with Jeff. I'm going with Evans as the flex.
And who are your running backs?
The running backs are Pollard and Irving, and the receivers are Higgins, Hill. The flex is Evans.
Yeah. Well, so that makes it easy for me because that's going to be 4 of us. I totally agree with all 5 names there in that order: Pollard, Irving, Evans, Higgins, and Hill.
We're on Bob.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to let everybody know it doesn't sound like there's a lot of feedback right now, and there's someone missing from the stream. That's all I'm gonna say right now. That's all. That's a part of this whole thing. It's good to be right on a roll.
I can't understand you, Bob. There seems to be some feedback on your end.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm gonna give you some feedback. All right. How about that? All right. Anyway, man, this is tough. I disagree on the whole Garendo thing. I think if we watched last week's Bills game, that first quarter, if CMC doesn't go down, that game could have been a lot different. If Juszczyk doesn't fumble on the 1 yard line, they were running the ball down the Bills' throat early on in that game. And the Bears are just atrocious on the ground. That being said, though, like Pollard and Irving are like, they've established themselves in those offenses. And honestly, like, there's no point of risking it right now. So I honestly do agree with the guys, though, here. I would actually sit Hunt and Garendo, go Pollard, Irving, Evans, Higgins, and Hill. Even though I do believe in Garendo, I just don't think it's worth. There is that luring. Who knows what they're going to do with that backfield. So honestly, when you get in, back against the wall, I think Irving against the Raiders, I'm not scared enough to fade him for Garendo.
Bob, are you still getting feedback from me in all seriousness?
No, I think you're good now.
Okay.
Sky's really the audio guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Sky is clearly, if you didn't know this for the listeners, Sky is on both the 1s and the 2s.
Nice.
Damn right. That's sure. Growing up on the streets of Berkeley as a young youth, I established my music credentials at a young age. I was really just diving in here trying to make a case for Tyreek Hill and trying not to keep it personal. You know what I mean? I've faded Tyreek Hill his whole career. Not that I faded him. I just never drafted him as like a top 5 player because he's expensive and I like other guys. So I never had Tyreek Hill. I got Tyreek Hill this year, and I was really excited about that. Coming off of last year with Tua, and it's been really disappointing. So I'm trying not to keep it personal. I'm going to stick with Pollard, Irving, and the 3 receivers here as well. Kareem Hunt may not have a job starting today, and I would love for Isaac Garendo to just go absolutely nuclear and help us out. But I want to see it before I commit to it at this point in the season. So Pollard, Irving, and Evans, Higgy, and Hill.
So what when you dug deep, what did you find that turned you on or off about Hill moving forward, right? Is it that Tua's playing well? Is it that throwing more? Is it that they simply can't run the football right now? Is it matchup based? Like right now, Tyreek Hill is going up against, on paper, the number 1 pass defense in the league. Yeah. I don't see it when I watch the game, but Sauce is out. Mosley's out. So if Tyreek's going to be on the outside, he won't have Sauce. If he's over the middle, he doesn't have to deal with Mosley. To me, it feels like a get well game for Tyreek, but I don't know what your analysis is.
No, that's where I'm at. The targets have gone up, which is nice. 8, 6, and 9 over the last couple of weeks. He's still not gone over 100 since week 1, but he had 83, which is a season high otherwise last week. He did score last week on the fake tip pass, but we'll take what we can get. He has a touchdown in 3 of the last 4 games. Tua is playing very well. And, divisional game at home. Dolphins are playing well overall. I think we're due for a Tyreek game, and it would be nice for it to be today.
Scale of 1 to 10, how done are the Jets for 2024?
Oh, super
Well,
done.
12.
Yeah, super done, right?
And I, by the way, Packers fan admitted, I love this. I can't get enough of watching this, and will not be tuning in for the Aaron Rodgers 3-part documentary. Kick rocks, Rodgers.
Yeah.
You're weird, and nobody likes you.
You're weird.
Fair enough. All right, Scott, and Matt, we really appreciate you guys with the super chats. Bob, give us a 30-second review, please, on the super chat situation and our friends at Good Sports.
Yeah, so this year we've decided that we have been partnering with Good Sports. It's a charity organization that helps provide sporting equipment to underprivileged communities. We've been kicking back 10% of donations. That anything we get from the chat, we throw 10%. This year, honestly, we haven't really gotten much traction, so we decided that we're going to make it 100%. So whatever we get donated through the channel, we're going to just donate it at the end of the season. So honestly, it's a good organization. Obviously, it'd be great to, donate something substantial, but honestly, every dollar would be helpful. It's good to give back. It's always fun to honestly just talk ball with the guys and having everybody on here too. But at the same time, like, we want to make sure we're also giving back as well. So Good Sports, charity organization that helps kids play sports with sporting equipment. So yeah, 100%. We're going to give it all. So feel free to donate.
And when you do that, you skip right to the line. You skip to the number 1 position there. So when you pop in, if it's right now, we're going to get right to your question. Otherwise, we're going to go in the order that they came in. So, Bill, I see a question here. If we deleted questions, we did not. We do see yours. We just wanted to get to those super chats first. So hang tough with us, everybody. Appreciate you. All right, week 14, boys. Here we go.
Before we go in further here, I got to say this. Like, honestly, like, Bill, we love Bill. Bill's been on every Sunday. Like, why would we delete Bill's comment? Like, Bill, you're like one of our biggest supporters. Imagine we just started going rogue, like just started deleting people's questions. I feel like we would never do that to you.
I'll give a shout out to Bill real quick. To Bill's defense, I think 2 of the last 5 weeks or so, we've had some audio cutouts. We had a stream break. We've had some of that stuff actually happen, and he put in his question early, and we haven't gotten to it yet. So my man's chomping at the bit. I get it.
And if anybody's going to be deleted, it's going to be me. Let's be honest.
Correct. All right.
I emotionally deleted you weeks ago, so I don't even know what this is about at this point.
Is that feedback, or did we get a new host? Because all I'm hearing is feedback.
All right, Hiram, good morning. Need 2 wide receivers, a flex in PPR. We got a lot of names here, gentlemen. Let's dial it in. 2 wide receivers and a flex, full PPR. Mooney, Ridley, Westbrook-Akine, Devonta Smith coming back to us. We'd like to see that. Dallas Goedert out in Philly. That generally bodes well for Devonta. Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby. Also, we need a tight end here. Disley or Kyle Pitts, who used to play NFL tight end. Let's go with the top one here first. We can answer both if you guys are professional enough in a single turn. Dave, I'll kick it to you.
Okay. Well, as tempting as it is to start both Titans against the Jaguars, I'm going to start Ridley and Devonta Smith as my 2 wide receivers. As the flex, I'm going to go with Jalen Warren against the Browns. Just kind of like, I don't know why I like Warren so much this week, but I do. And as far as the tight end goes, anybody that's not Pitts, I'll take Disley, and I think Disley has a pretty great matchup this week. So I'm going to take Disley as my tight end.
Has he entered Never Pitts territory, or is that going too far?
Oh, I mean, for me, he is for sure.
Oof, that's not a good group to be in. Remember, Bob, it started with Justin Fields, if you remember how bad Justin Fields was, and in turn, how bad your calls about Justin Fields were. Anyway, I'm
quarterback last year. What are you talking about?
What?
He was like a top 10 fantasy quarterback last year.
No, 2 years ago.
All right. Well,
yeah. Give me Mooney, Ridley, and Disley. Mainly because Bob told me to start Mooney this morning. So I'm going to go Mooney, Ridley, Disley.
You're missing
You
one.
got a flex, Matt?
Oh, yeah. If I have to do a flex, then give me Devonta Smith. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mooney, Devonta Smith, Jalen Warren, just like Dave. And then Disley, I told our audience to go with Pitts. I got burned, so I'm never Pitts again now.
Oh man, you got another one.
I'm a
You
never
sounded so
Pitts.
sad too. Your sound, I felt that pain of like,
I'm
it's
never
okay,
Pitts,
Jeff.
bro.
It's all right. It's gonna be fine.
We
So
need
did you go?
we
did
need
you
a
go from never
T-shirt.
Pitts to all in Pitts to never Pitts?
Yeah, I've
roller
been burned
coaster?
too many times.
Yeah.
I tell
the
everyone,
Pitts
believe
stock
in him.
market.
You just can't do it. I watched some videos. His route running is just atrocious now. It's like he doesn't want to play receiver as a tight end. It's like, why are you even playing football then?
So, although I respect all you gentlemen in front of me, I don't know how none of you mentioned the Chris Carter of 2024.
Wow.
How could you?
All he does is catch touchdowns.
How could you not sit how can you sit Westbrook Akine 8 touchdowns in 8 weeks? How can you sit him in week 14 in a shallow schedule? No, I've got to go with Westbrook Akine and get that touchdown that I'm expecting. Mooney for me as well, and I will go with Jaylen Warren. He had his best game of the year 2 weeks ago versus the Browns, and I expect more of the same today. And same with me. I'd love to say Pitts, but I just have no faith whatsoever there. Give me Disley. Bobby?
Oh, it's me. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Mooney, Ridley, Devonta Smith, Disley for me.
Ooh, Bob and I agree. Look at that.
Actually, second thought. Any other player that I just said.
Okay, so Bob's going with Pitts. Derek, mark down Pitts for Bob.
Got it.
Big Pitts and Bigsby guy for Bob. I'm gonna go Mooney. I'm gonna go Ridley. I'm all about the Westbrook Akine, Derek. I'm about it. My only issue here, I'm down for the touchdown. I can't count on 2, and I usually get 3 targets. It's a little sketch for me. He should get more now. Obviously, he's been on fire, but I'll take the revenge game for Calvin Ridley. Should be a nice week for him. I think Darnell Mooney outpaces Drake London today, and I love Devonta Smith coming back as well, although the Eagles forgot to pass. But without Dallas Goedert, historically, Devonta Smith plays very nicely. So I'm going to go with Mooney, Ridley, and Devonta Smith up at the top, and then Disley. And I believe it's a 6-pack. Are we correct there?
6-pack at tight end. We've got a consensus on Mooney, Devonta Smith, and Ridley at the flex.
There you go. All right, Harold.
And
Thanks for hanging tough, buddy.
It gets a little weird if you do a little.
Saquon might go for 400 yards on the ground today.
And when Westbrook Akine catches that touchdown, I expect a text from all of you.
I expect a touchdown. The
Yeah.
touchdown's fine. I just don't think much more other than that. That's what I'm concerned about.
He's going to have 8 targets and 4 touchdowns today. We'll all be sorry.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, whatever
feeling
Dave
it.
has got in his coffee, I would like some of it.
Bet that prop at plus 1,200. Yeah.
It's never too
12,000.
early for coffee, especially when it's funny.
4+ touchdowns. I like it. Lindorphins, good morning, and not necessarily welcome back because you're a staple here on the program. But I don't think I've seen your handle come through as often as we have in the past. So welcome back, my friend. Happy Sunday. Have to bench one. All right, let's go reverse here, boys. We're benching one in half PPR. We got Neighbors versus the Aints. Judy at Pittsburgh, coming off more than a career high. Braylon Allen at the Dolphins. Najee Harris versus the Browns. Also, which tight end would you prefer rest of season, half PPR, Henry or Ferguson? Thanks, gents. You're very welcome. Happy Sunday. We're benching one at the top. We're picking a tight end for the rest of the season. Dave?
As much as it pains me, I'm going to bench Neighbors because he's banged up. I mean, there's talk about him having a limited role this week. There's been talk about shutting him down for the year, which probably isn't going to happen. So Neighbors is probably the best receiver in that group, but he's banged up, and I have no faith in him this week. As far as tight end goes for the rest of the year, I'm going with Jake Ferguson. I know he's coming back this week, but it's still a great matchup, and he's got great matchups in week 15 and 16 as well. Maybe a little bit spotty in week 17, but I'll take Ferguson over Hunter Henry.
The Neighbors injury concerns me as well. if we get any indication that he's a full go and that the injury is not a concern for the Giants, then I am probably going to sit Braylon Allen against what I feel is probably the best defense on the board, probably better against the pass than they are the run. But the Jets are just a mess, and I'm not fancying running back by come shitty, which is what I've been calling it this week. So, and then tight end, based on what the boys said earlier, they have convinced me. I like Ferguson as well. Dave kind of co-signed on the previous comments with his comment. So give me Ferguson at the end. Give me Neighbors if there is indication he's fully healthy. Judy, who is playing for the NFL Heisman right now, and Najee, who will get the ball early and often for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to sit Malik Neighbors. He will try to play, is what Shefty has said. And this late in the season, I just want healthy guys. I don't want to risk a re-injury or them being a decoy out there. So for that, I'm going to bench Neighbors out of those. And the rest of the way, I'm going to go Ferguson at tight end.
Yeah, all things being equal today, I would say Judy, but again, the situation with Neighbors kind of pushes me that way. So I will bench Neighbors as well. And I already mentioned Ferguson's nice strength of schedule the rest of the way into the playoffs. So I'm definitely going Ferguson.
Well, I would say, honestly, I do not like Najee's matchup today against Cleveland. Those games are always muddy. And Warren was the guy who got the end zone last time, and Najee's kind of left holding the bag. But at the same time, like, Neighbors is banged up. I don't know how he sounds like he's going to be limited today from whatever I've heard. And the Giants are truly a dumpster fire. So there's no reason to push him and hurt him even more. So I'm going to fade Neighbors because of that. Rest of season, I'm going Ferguson.
Yep, samesies. I really love the matchup versus the Saints. I just don't. Drew Lock today, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. I'll just pass on the Giants. So I'm going to sit Neighbors, and I'm also going to go Fergie for the rest of the season.
All right, make that 6 for 6. I will change my answer based on what the boys have said about Neighbors being limited. So Neighbors for 6, Ferguson for 6, I believe, Derek.
Matt, that's what we want. Sheep. Follow the crowd, my man. Follow the crowd.
Right off the cliff.
Follow
Welcome to the Razzball Lemmings.
Yep. Right off the cliff into the ocean we call 8 targets for 4 touchdowns.
Follow the cliff. All right. Cool. There you go. So sit Neighbors and start Fergie. Bill, good morning. Like many, win and in. Yes, sir. 2 questions today in PPR. Braylon Allen or Tyrone Tracy for those New York Football Giants. And then Purdy or Tua, or go crazy and grab Levis. Jeff. All right, here we go. Here we got PPR, Braylon Allen or Tyrone Tracy, and then we got Purdy or Tua. Dave?
Yeah, as far as the running backs go, I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy over Braylon Allen. I agree that the Giants are a dumpster fire, but the Jets are an even bigger dumpster fire, and just don't want to trust them against the Dolphins. So give me Tyrone Tracy as the running back. Wow, that's a pretty bold move to grab Levis. I do love the matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I think I'm going to start Tua at home against the Jets.
Man, you heard it here, folks. 2 dumpster fires in New Jersey. Be careful. Go ahead, Matt.
Yes, the Jets are currently the 3rd best team in New York. So give me Tracy, even though he appears to be 1 fumble away from losing his job, which scares me. But my gut says Tracy's going to be better than Allen, and I think the Giants will be slightly better than the Jets today. I think Will Levis is too cute of a pick, and in Week 14, when you need to win to get in, don't be cute. Tua is going to throw 40 times, and he will be just fine. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not entertaining 49er plans or players right now. So for me, Tracy and Tua.
I'm going to go against the grain here. I like Braylon Allen this week. So I I like Tracy as well, but his fumbling problems, and I think Devin Singletary will get some run today. So I'm going to go with Braylon. What are you telling me, Matt?
Trying to get a good photo. Bucky Irving is moved from questionable to healthy.
Love
Go
it.
Ducks.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Allen, and then I'm gonna go Tua. I think Tua has a good game. I think the game's gonna actually be better than we're anticipating for fantasy purposes.
Well, I really don't like the situation with the Giants as well, but I do like Tracy. I like the matchup. The Saints are giving up the fourth best fantasy points to running backs. It just looks like if there's any pride left with the Giants, it's going to be Tracy all day long, especially if Neighbors is limping. And I wish the situation was different, that you could take a chance, because I actually really do like Levis. Over the last 4 games since he came back, he's got 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That's a pretty nice ratio, especially for him. He doesn't have 300 yards passing yet, but he's flirting with it. And, if you're looking ahead, he's a guy you may want to just put on your bench in case you have a quarterback injury in the playoffs. Week 15, Cincinnati. Week 16 at the Colts. 17 at the Jaguars. So he could actually be in a very under-the-radar stash for the fantasy playoffs. So I really don't hate the move. I don't think I'm gonna put all my eggs in that basket. You gotta go with a better player to get into the playoffs. But if you can, Bill, if you can stash Levis and just kind of hold on to him and maybe give him a spot start, especially if he has a nice game today, that's not actually a pretty subtle move. I think that'll really help you in the playoffs. What do you think, Bobby? Am I crazy or what?
It's funny. The Tracy Allen thing is, I'm just at a loss. I everything in my when Matt said my gut tells me it's Tracy, that's exactly what I've been thinking this whole time. And I'm like, but it's just the Giants are so bad. I mean, last week, if you watch that game, it's dumb luck that Tracy got in the end zone. If Drew Lock doesn't stick his foot out instead of the football, Tracy has a complete dud against the Cowboys. And I don't have a lot of faith in the Giants right now, but Tracy's special. The New Orleans run defense is terrible, but Brian Allen's probably more of a lock for workload this week than Tracy, who's been splitting almost 50-50 with Singletary the last 2 weeks because of those fumbling issues. And honestly, if I'm the Giants, why am I going to ride Tracy into the ground? The season's over. So, keeping him fresh makes some sense to me. So, I've been bouncing back and forth between these two all week long. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna lean Tracy just because I love the pain, and I'm gonna be super excited to watch that. On the quarterback side, historically, Tua has not been really great against the Jets. I know Sauce Gardner's out, but you're looking at low 200 passing yards, 1 touchdown pass each of the games last season against the Jets. And Brock Purdy, same thing. I mean, the Bears are a really good secondary, but what's going to go on with the Bears today? They just fired their coach. Is that going to galvanize them? I mean, look at what happened to the Jets defense when they fired their defensive-minded head coach. Their Jets defense all of a sudden is terrible. I think Tua's the safer bet. I think you kind of want to just ride the hot hand, ride with Tua. I think in this kind of scenario, go with the player that's playing the best, and that's definitely Tua here. So I'm going to go Tracy and Tua.
Shout out my boy Robert Sala.
All right, breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news. George Pickens is out today.
Nice.
Pickens will not play today.
Yeah, it's almost thank God we don't have an injury report. You know what I mean? Thank God thank God there isn't a designated time when someone spends hours of their time putting together something. But thank God we have breaking news instead. Thank you.
So George Pickens is out now.
Got it. Yeah, no, it's cool. That's so great. Thanks.
Bucky Irving appears to be a full go.
Hey,
yeah,
go Ducks.
Go
I
Ducks.
think Malik Neighbors is going to be limited. So Bob, if that helps at all with your last minute updates, that'd be great.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you, buddy.
I'm just putting Martavis Bryant back into all my lineups there with George Pickens out. Okay, for me, Braylon Allen and Tua are pretty easy. Gentlemen, just because I like to do this kind of nerd shit with all of us.
Oh, back up for it. Braylon Allen's easy to you?
Absolutely.
Please I need more explanation.
Well, he's easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I need more than that. Give me all that. Give me all that thought.
When you whip out the Commodores, it's over. I think.
Nice, Dave. Man, Matt. Dave is just immediately music theory to the top, my man. Yeah, Braylon Allen. First of all, I've been waiting for him to get a real opportunity all season long. For those of you who we just argued about this 4 weeks ago on the podcast, those of you that have been burning holes in your lineup all season long with these guys who may or may not play, now he's getting in the opportunity to play, and you're not going to play him. To me, that's insane. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. You just mentioned, Bob, yourself, that Singletary and Tracy are splitting work. Braylon Allen is just probably not going to be doing that. I mean, Davis will probably get a couple of carries, but not really worried about that. I'm going to go Braylon Allen there. By the way, I just think he's a stud anyway. Coming out, I was really excited about him. He just got stuck behind Breece Hall, and there's nothing you can do there. So Rodgers isn't it. I think they're going to go through the run game. Braylon Allen's easy for me. And then 2 over Purdy. You just got to put me out of my misery here with the 49ers situation this year. Purdy is basically, Tim Rattay at this point, and it's been pretty painful. So going to wait for that. Before we move
Sky,
on,
let me give you just a little advice from an old guy here. This is like politics, right? And Bob is the person with the bullhorn yelling at you, telling you who to vote for. Don't listen to that.
I'm my own.
Your vote is Braylon Allen. So
first of all,
Bob shouldn't be standing on the corner with a bullhorn.
That could not be more the opposite. To be honest with you, I wanted to hear his analysis behind it because, I don't have a good answer, and I keep going back and forth. And honestly, my thought process is just play the guy with the starting quarterback because who the hell is Drew Lock? Drew Lock could be a dumpster fire today. So I hear you. That's why I wanted to hear it. So don't listen to Matt. All right. What I'm saying is I support your decision, Scott. I'm probably going to listen to you. That's why. So I can yell at you if it was wrong.
So Drew Lock being a dumpster fire equals Aaron Rodgers being great again? Politics?
I think that I can't say for sure, but I think I would trust Aaron Rodgers over Drew Lock.
Oof. Double dumpster fire. Speaking of dumpster fires, Dave, I want to stick on this really quick. 2 dumpster fires in New Jersey. Everyone be careful. Every time I hear hear New York Football Giants, New York Jets, I immediately think they don't play in New York. They don't. They play in New Jersey, right? Which is kind of fun. Some of us are from New Jersey, so that might be even more fun for us. So I Google searched it really quick, which I've done a couple times in the past. 13 teams, which I'm not going to get into, but 3 specifically, the 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and the Las Vegas Raiders do not play in the city that they represent, which I think is a lot of fun. If you dive a little deeper in the history of football, there's been 13 NFL teams that represent a certain city, such as San Francisco 49ers, that don't actually play in San Francisco. I think that's kind of fun.
I've been calling them the East Rutherford Giants since the late 70s. So
count it. I like it.
East Rutherford. That hit my heartstrings since I'm from New Jersey. The East Rutherford call out. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right, let's move forward here. Derek, what was the consensus on that? That was about a 14-minute
yeah, so we were unanimous on Tua and 4-2 to Tracy.
4-2 to Tracy. All right, I'm going to write that one down. 4-2 to Tracy. Jamie, good morning. Scott, good morning.
We have breaking news. Jatavian Sanders' status has changed, but as per my comment in the chat, Bob is not allowing me to give the update.
I'm glad you kept that to a handle, Matt, because at 9 o'clock on the West Coast time, and also, let's see, noon on the Eastern side there, but like East Rutherford, East, we will be having a breakdown at noon for the injury report. Bob spends hours on the injury report. It's very important that we break this down for everybody. It's not just fantasy players. It's the offensive lines, the defenses as well. So make sure you stay tuned during our lunch break. The rest of us will pop off for a few minutes, and then we'll be back for the second hour as well. Scotty Eminger back for another one. We appreciate you, brother. Because of the buys in a PPR league, we have our boy Sincere McCormick for the Las Vegas / Paradise Raiders. We have Tyjae Spears, who I'm still yet to see play, and then Jonathan Brooks, who looks nice, but splitting work. This one's tricky here. We're going with beyond handcuffs on this one for Scott. PPR League, we got McCormick, Spears, Brooks. Who we got? Dave?
Yeah, I mean, those are tough choices. I've been signing all my Christmas cards Sincerely McCormick, so I think I'm going to stick with that.
I like it.
I like the matchup against Tampa Bay. I think Brooks is probably going to get more work this week. They've been trying to ramp him up, and they're talking about ramping him up a little bit more. I just am not crazy about the matchup with Philly. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball too much. And J. Spears is just a mystery. I think Pollard will get most of the work, and I think they'll throw when they can. So I'm going to go with McCormick.
Okay.
Same, right? Jeff, I'll allow you to tell the audience where McCormick played his college ball.
The UTSA legend, Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
McCormick. Yep. As they say down here in San Antonio. But yeah, no. I like him getting the opportunity. He's been playing well over 5 yards a carry of his past 2 games, and I think his workload is going to increase. So I'm definitely rolling with McCormick out of these 3.
Yeah, same for me. I'll go with McCormick with Madison out now as well. Spears just not really getting the workload, and we've seen so many examples of players coming back from major injuries, and they bring them up slowly, and there's no reason to think that James Brooks is going to or Jonathan Brooks is going to just explode today versus what might be the best defensive front 7 in the game. So I don't still see that there's any reason to even consider him. But yeah, give McCormick, take the volume. Matchup's pretty good, and Vegas is actually, for fantasy purposes, a team you might want to keep an eye on. So I think that starts or continues today with McCormick.
Sincere McCormick is this year's Zamir White. I know last year we got excited down the stretch. This is their guy now. I think that I wholeheartedly believe that. You watched how he ran the football last week. And honestly, Antonio Pierce came out after that game and was like, we love how this guy's running. He talked him up big time. And honestly, I think this is a guy, by the way, I didn't get any. I got one league, I got Isaiah Guerrero. But in all my other leagues, I just put in a small fab for Sincere McCormick, and I got him across the board. And honestly, I think he's going to be a solid RB2 down the stretch.
Yeah, McCormick for me as well. I picked him up everywhere. Also, Bob, is everyone was going for the Guerrero Hastings. Guerrero went for 81 and 79 in my 2 fab leagues. See what
I went for a
there.
hundo. I went all in on Guerrero for one league.
Full hundo.
Got it.
I guess if you got it at this point of the year, I mean, what else are you doing with it? All right, Matt, back with another question here. CD Lamb. What's that?
Yeah, second super chat.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. Matthew. There's Matts and Matthews. Matthew. Good morning, and thank you very much again for the second contribution. CD Lamb or Ladd McConkey, assuming health. I'm going to wait to the injury report to find out for real if Ladd McConkey's playing or not. Assuming Ladd plays, knowing he's banged up. So assuming Ladd plays, we're going CD or Ladd.
For me, I'm gonna go CD against Cincinnati. I'm not crazy about guys that are injured playing. I know a lot of times it doesn't matter, but I'll take Lamb against the Bengals.
Yeah, me too. Take CD Lamb. I think he's hyper focused on being the best in the game, and he's not going to let the ribs keep him out. He does pout a little bit, as do most really good wide receivers at some point or another. He's not quite AB yet, but I think he wants to be the best, and he wants to be known in Dallas as being better than Michael Irvin. So to do that, you got to play through a little bit of injury, and you've got to make these games count. And by the way, Monday night, everybody's watching. He's going to.
Yeah, for the same reasons Matt said, I think you got to roll with CD. Just the Bengals are just really bad defensively, so he's going to get lots of targets. And I don't even if Ladd does play, I just don't know. The Chargers' passing attack is something to be trusted right now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of McConkey and the Chargers today versus Kansas City. I would love to see them tighten up that AFC West race a bit. Get that. I've seen too many times where Kansas City is just kind of pull it out the end. I'd like to see the Chargers just take this and dominate and like I said, tighten that up. But for fantasy purposes, for all the reasons that have been stated already, I'd have to go with CD Lamb.
I'm going with Lad McConkey. One of only 2 teams in fantasy over the last 6 weeks. 50% of their fantasy points to the slot is the Kansas City Chiefs. And honestly, I don't really care for CeeDee Lamb's demeanor. I mean, he doesn't look like he's that invested. You watch those games, he's just his ADOT's like 7 yards, and he just gets these short passes. He's a PPR guy, I get that, but honestly, Lad McConkey is rolling right now. I know he's a little banged up, but I think he plays. They're going to have to put up points on the road against Kansas City. Keep in mind, I'm a Lamb owner in 2 leagues that are very important to me, and he's been very bad. So I'm a little bitter.
Yeah.
Sky, this might help you. Let me give you a little tidbit. This might help. You ready?
I'm ready.
Bob's wrong.
Okay.
We'll see about that.
Man, I want Lad to do well.
Remember, they're playing the Chiefs and the referees. I mean,
yeah, well, and Spag's just a beast. And Justin's plays quite well against everybody except for the Chiefs usually. Primetime game. I'm going to stick with CeeDee Lamb, unfortunately. They're both banged up, so I think then it's just apples for apples. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go with CeeDee Lamb there. And I just want to make sure that I got this on air. I've been corrected. My man wants to go by Leone. So Matt and Matthew doesn't matter. He could be a Matty. I don't give a shit. We're going Leone.
He's one of my boys from he's my new burner account. So
I was going to say, probably from New Jersey. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going here. James Walsh, we got let's do 3 more questions, gentlemen, and then we're going to get into our tell me, Bob. Love it. I'm going to get into the injury report with Bob, featured spot here coming up at the top of the hour. We got 3 more questions. Feel free to drop a super chat if you'd like to jump the line. Otherwise, we'll be back with the rest of the questions in the second hour after about a 10-15 minute interlude here for the injury report. James Walsh, good morning. Full PPR. We need 2 flex. We got D-Hop, Lad McConkey, Bucky Irving, and Pacheco. What do you got, Dave?
I'm going to take Bucky, and the good news for James Walsh is the rest of the guys are the night game tonight. I'm leaning Pacheco, but I would probably go with Lad McConkey if he plays.
Bucky is for sure for me, and I believe Sky is right that this might be Kareem Hunt's last week of being fantasy relevant, but that means he's probably still in somewhat of a split with Pacheco. I think Lad is playing better football right now, but something tells me DeAndre Hopkins, which means I'm probably wrong, so give me Lad McConkey. Bucky for sure, Lad McConkey as my dart throw, which I don't think is really a dart throw, but if my gut says D Hopkins, that means I'm probably wrong.
Sometimes you got to trust your gut, Matt, because I'm going to go Hopkins and Bucky. I think this is a big game for the Chiefs and the Chargers. I know I'm the only Mahomes fan in this group. All y'all hate the Chiefs, and that's okay. But I just, since Dobbins has been out for the Chargers, I just don't really like the Chargers offense lately. And so that's why I'm going to roll with Hopkins. I think he has a big game. I think the Chiefs are going to come out and make a statement win late in the year. So that's why I'm going to roll with Hopkins and Bucky.
Yeah, it's going to be Bucky for me for one of them. Just really like what he's doing there, and that's a pretty easy one. And like Dave said, thankfully, the other 3 names are all tonight. So if Lad is playing, I want him. I mean, he's gone over 100 or up to around 120 yards in 2 of the last 3. Hadn't gone in the end zone in a while, but I like him. I like the number of targets he's getting. This is PPR. So if he's playing, I've got to go with him. If he's not playing and it's between Hopkins and Pacheco, it's going to be Hopkins for me. But Irving, Lad, primary, and if Lad's out, then Hopkins.
Jeez. Yeah, I think Bucky's fine. I like Bucky too. If you look at the guys that really dominate the Raiders, are like those speed backs, Devin Achane, Chase Brown types, have completely just bull rushed them. I think they're really stronger against like those bruising backs, like Javonte Williams types, who had 8 carries for -2 freaking yards. the worst. But anyway, not bitter or anything. Don't worry about it, Javante. Totally fine after you scored like 16 points the week earlier. Totally cool.
Your fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault. I honestly think I'm going to lean D-Hop and Bucky here, even though I love Lad. I just think that Mahomes, Chiefs at home. Let me roll with that. So I'm going to go D-Hop, Bucky.
Bucky, Lad, if healthy. If not, D-Hop. I got the same as Derek. Derek, what's the consensus there?
Well, yeah, we're all unanimous on Bucky, and then we're leaning Lad if he plays 4-4-2. If he doesn't play, it's a clear D-Hop.
Got it. Just a quick note here on Pacheco. 7 carries last week, over 40 yards. Kareem Hunt also had 7 carries for just 15. In week 4, Pacheco, of course, did not play. Kareem Hunt, that was his first game, 14 carries, 70 yards against these Chargers in LA. Should be a nice running game in general, but I just don't like the split yet. So that's why I'm sticking away from Pacheco. But if you have him, probably going to be tough to go away from him if you don't have the other running back. So I'm not worried about playing him per se, but in this matchup and these guys, I would take another note here. Scotty is back.
Well, somebody screenshot this for Bob and give it to him as a Christmas gift. Probably the only time he'll see it.
It's his burner. It's good.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into Scott here.
Scott, you have to read it. It sucks, but contractually you have to read it.
Bob sounds good to me. That was earlier when we had
that was
a
from
little
when
bit
you
of the
guys
breakup.
you guys couldn't hear me. But in reality, it was just you. It was a you guys problem. Apparently, my people told me it's all good. All right.
Yeah.
So I trust the fans.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, and look at me. I was crazy. I thought maybe somebody thought, wow, this Bob guy, he really sounds good. See the difference? Bob
we don't
sounds
know
good to me. Oh, Bob sounds good to me. There's a difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
There's a Seinfeld episode on inflection in a sentence. It's really, really important. You should definitely check that out. All right, Scotty, let's go here to Scott, who's got another big time contribution here. Right off the bat, we talked last week about Scott jumping through tables at Bills Mafia. He is a gamer. We know this. So we never doubted him, but we did settle the score last week. Buffalo is the only New York team, correct? Just saying. Last one. Start Geno or pick up O'Connell today with Lamar on a bench. Good luck. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Hashtag good sports. Hashtag Buck Army. You damn right. So the Buffalo New York Football Bills. We got Geno Smith or Aiden O'Connell. We're in the dumpster fires here, gentlemen. Who we got, Dave?
Man, that's a good question. I love the Raiders matchup with Tampa Bay, and O'Connell looked pretty good last week against a tough Kansas City team. I think I'm going to pick up Aiden O'Connell and start him over Geno Smith against the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been much better team in Phoenix, in the Phoenix area.
Nice.
So I'm going to I'll pick up O'Connell and start him against Tampa Bay today.
I like it. Gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt the program really quick. I'm on puppy duty for a second. I'm going to go with Geno Smith here, and Bob, you could take us to the injury report once you're done. Scott, we appreciate you, buddy. I'll be back in the second hour.
I kind of like Geno Smith this week, but he doesn't score more than about 15 to 17 fantasy points a week, it feels like. Well, the numbers say that. It doesn't feel that way. I think if you want to have fun with it, go Aiden O'Connell and allow him to throw the ball 40 times against Tampa, who's also going to throw the ball a lot. So that might be a more fun game to watch, even though you'd have to stream it someplace. It certainly will not be a nationally televised football game. I will be forced to watch it here in Tampa. But either way, I think that you're fine with Geno for a floor, and O'Connell probably gives you a better ceiling.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Geno, in week 12, he had like 13, 14 points against Arizona. Arizona's been really good against quarterbacks over the past month as well, second best. So that's concerning. But Geno does play better on the road this season based on the Razzball home away split tool. And with Kenneth Walker being out, maybe they rely on Geno more. So I kind of want to roll with Geno, but I think Aiden O'Connell will have the better day for fantasy. So with that, I'm going to go with O'Connell.
Yeah, I'm going to go with O'Connell as well. In fact, I wrote him up in my playoff preview streamer article last week. I really like his upcoming matchups against in the fantasy playoffs, Atlanta, Jacksonville, and Indy. And if you look at those, defenses versus quarterbacks, the Bucks are the worst of those four. So I think it starts today. I mean, he did someone. I think Dave mentioned that he had a pretty good week last week, 340-2 against Kansas City in Kansas City. So even though his home road splits are kind of favored at home, he can certainly play on the road, as we saw last week in his first game back. So I'm actually going to reach and take O'Connell as well over Geno.
I'm going to go Aiden O'Connell. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you could throw on them. And by the way, O'Connell, I think we always get these weird, like he was like a day 3 pick last year and he got some starts. And I feel like when you watched him last year, we have like this impression of him, like he's just like not that good. And it's like, well, he was a day 3 pick and he came in and he actually had some semblance of competence. And then this year he lost the starting job to Garner, but then like he comes in and last week against the Chiefs, like looks sharp, throws for 300 yards. Like honestly, like I think that Bucks Raiders game could be an underrated game for fantasy. We could have a lot of fireworks in that game. So I'm going to go with that one. Geno hasn't looked great against Arizona in the last few times he's faced them. So I actually like the upside of Aiden there. All right. Thank you for the super chat though, Scott. Scott's a long time guy. Buck Army. Shout out to Buck. We love him to death. Good Sports. Thank you again for your donation. By the way, folks, if you can send by the way, not only do you get your question answered right away, but we also we'll be donating 100% of the proceeds this year to Good Sports. So please throw us a donation if you want to donate for the holiday season. Guys, we're going to do the injury report right now. You feel free. I'm going to drop you guys off. However, could somebody just make sure they track down where we left off so when we come back in, we will get into it right away. Thank you, gentlemen. We will put you guys away for now. All right, we're going to get into that injury report, folks. Some big-time injuries that are, without a doubt, going to impact our fantasy lineups this week. This is going to be, by the way, when we get to the Giants game, just be nice to me. This is a lot of information here. The Giants are going to be pretty banged up in this game. So, honestly, I feel like if Alvin Kamara doesn't win, like, it finishes the RB1, I'll just, be sad always. All right. Why can't I get that ticker off? Where's the ticker? Who's got the ticker? There we go. All right, because there's too many names. I couldn't even fit all the Giants names. Look at the Giants section. It's insane. All right, let's get into it. First off, Browns at Steelers. The biggest one, of course, breaking news. Obviously, Matthew Styles came on board, broke the news about George Pickens being out today. Listen, I feel like when you're looking at the injuries as a whole, Cedric Tillman, Jedrick Wills, the Browns will also be down Thrash, who's their other receiver. To be honest with you, the AFC North game probably going to be in full effect today. Honestly, I do believe that's going to be a low-scoring affair without George Pickens as well. Alex Highsmith, the guy who plays opposite of TJ Watt, is back this week. The Steelers' defense is back to full strength at home. Honestly, I honestly feel like Jerry Jeudy's been solid. And honestly, if you look at our matchup metric, he has a solid game this week. But I do think the Steelers-Browns game will be a tougher AFC North game. And honestly, I do think if you could pivot to other options, honestly, I don't mind. Actually, I'm starting Juwan Jennings over Jerry Jeudy this week because of that. Jumping down to the Saints at Giants. Now, this one's going to take 45 minutes to get through, but just so you know, I apologize in advance. Looks like Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller are back in. Of course, with Taysom Hill out, they'll be spelling Alvin Kamara. Kendre Miller is someone to monitor as a stash. Obviously, he looks good when he gets the touches. Of course, Dennis Allen's doghouse for the last few years. Dennis Allen's now gone. So, honestly, I think Kendre Miller gets a few more looks. Obviously, Chris Olave continues to be out this game. But honestly, when we get to the Giants' defensive injuries, it is absurd. And honestly, there's going to be opportunities for guys like Juwan Johnson, for example, MVS, some deeper names, Derek Carr, etc. But I think the Giants are really banged up on defense, could really impact this game as well. Let's kind of get through it. So the Giants are going to be down Jermaine Illuminor, who's replacing Andrew Thomas at left tackle. Then on top of that, Chris Hubbard, who was playing right tackle, is also out in this game. So the Giants' offensive line is going to be really banged up in this game, missing a lot of the guys on the bookends there as well. Theo Johnson, their young upstart rookie tight end, is out today as well. That's honestly just more concern as Malik Neighbors is in today, but he is limited due to an injury for himself. So honestly, that Giants offense is going to be missing a few guys on the offensive line. And on top of that, with no Theo Johnson, listen, we all believe in Tyrone Tracy. He's a great player, but the focus is going to be 100% on him most likely. Now, getting to the Giants defense, insane. Okay, so just the first handful of guys there, Lawrence, Aziz, Owarjier, Davidson, Nunez, Roches, Watts, all these guys, even Okereke, all these guys are in the front seven. The defensive line for the Giants is completely decimated, and Alvin Kamara and company should be able to handle business, and that's why I feel like Kendra Miller could get a handful of touches. If you're extremely desperate for a dart throw, just a handful of points guy, you honestly, Kendra Miller could get mop-up duty in this game. They're also going to be down their stud middle linebacker, Karake, as well. Deontay Banks and Phillips also out today. 2 of their 3 starting cornerbacks will be out. So it is just brutal for that Giants defense today. Honestly, I'm not expecting fireworks in the Giants for the Saints, but at the same time, I expect them to handle business with all these injuries for the Giants defense. Jets at Dolphins. The Jets offensive line obviously a little banged up with Tyron Smith being out. Breece Hall is out today. I know Braylon Allen steps in. He should be a workload monster. There was some rumblings earlier in the week. They were going to use a little bit of a rotation. Honestly, I don't buy. I think Braylon Allen's still going to be the guy there. Alan Lazard should be back in. Honestly, that completes that 3-receiver set. Alan Lazard being back should help the offense a little bit, of course, with Aaron Rodgers struggling, not playing to his peak, but now he has his 3 receivers. Maybe that should give them an opportunity against the Miami Dolphins, who will be at home this week. On the flip side, defensively, C.J. Mosley and Sauce Gardner are out today. That definitely helps Tua's matchup as the back end, and also that ground game with Mosley being out. Kendall Fuller is back in. That's a cornerback outside of Ramsey. So the Dolphins defense is getting back to health. Raheem Mostert is out today. So honestly, I think Devin Achane, he could compete with a guy like Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley for the number 1 RB on the week. Jags at Titans. Of course, Trevor Lawrence out today. Honestly, if you're looking for a reason to start Mac Jones in a super flex, there are some key injuries on the back end for the Titans, which we'll break down in a second. Obviously, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis continue to be out for those Jaguars. So honestly, Parker Washington's coming off a very nice game last week, but at the same time, I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the guy you're going to want to focus on in this matchup against the Titans, who are going to be really dealing with some banged up in the back end. Of course, Kenneth Murray, Javonte Baker, those are 2 linebackers for the Titans that are out. That should definitely help the matchup for the Jags offense this week, as they're dealing with Roger McCreary, also out today, slot guy, their best cornerback so far. And also they're also dealing with the guy they signed, and Ladarius Sneed is also out on IR officially. So Chidobe Awuzie comes back, which is key, but he's been out since week 3. It's his first game back. Losing those guys on the back 7 should really help the Jaguars offense compete a little more against the Titans this week. Falcons at Vikings. I think the only key one here is really that stood out to me was Stephon Gilmore is out today. That should definitely help Darnell Mooney and Drake London, as Gilmore is one of the better outside cornerbacks for the Minnesota Vikings. Jumping down to the Panthers at Eagles. Obviously, the key one here, Jatavion Sanders, the tight end, is back in this week for the Carolina Panthers. He's really good. I like this kid a lot. Could be a name down the stretch for the playoffs if you're desperate for tight ends. Honestly, this week against the Eagles, probably a better wait and see. Devonta Smith is also back in, while Dallas Goedert is out. So that is notable, of course. So honestly, Devonta Smith does play a little bit better, gets a bump with Dallas Goedert being out. Some other injuries to the Eagles, but nothing really crazy. Reed Blankenship is out today, the safety, and Brandon Graham is also out as well. Darius Slayton should return to action in this matchup. Let's jump down to the other ones for the later windows. Well, obviously, we still have the Raiders and Broncos. Sincere McCormick, baby. I'm calling my shot. Top 20 RB this week. We'll talk about some of the injuries. Madison and Jameer White are both out today. My player prop of the week, honestly, I'm rolling with Mike Evans, as 2 of the 3 starting cornerbacks for the Raiders are out today with Hobbs and Bennett. On the defensive side of the ball for the Bucs, they're dealing with some injuries to their linebacker. KJ Britt is out. Jordan Whitehead is out, their safety. They're also going to be missing some guys up front, and I'm not even going to bother saying their names, but the defense for the Bucs is a little banged up. I honestly think Sincere McCormick and the Raiders offense is underrated in a matchup that could be a little bit of fun. Seahawks at Cardinals. I just wanted to highlight, of course, Kenneth Walker is out today. Zach Charbonnet will be an absolute workhorse, and I think he's a volume RB2 in this matchup against the Cardinals, who have been very good against the run over the last few weeks. Just some notable things I thought was just to highlight is that they're going to be a little banged up on the offensive line. Of course, Connor Williams, their starting center, retired, and then they're going to be missing Anthony Bradford as well, their starting guard. So some injuries up front for that Seattle rushing attack. Bears at 49ers. Roshan Johnson is out today. That should definitely give DeAndre Swift the full workload. So we're excited to see what he could do. Maybe get some goal line work as well. That's notable there. The 49ers, I feel like I'm on an island here. They are dealing with some key injuries, Trent Williams and Aaron Banks. But the guys who replaced them last week against Buffalo actually did play pretty well, especially in the run game. I do think with CMC and Jordan Mason out, Isaiah Guerrero is going to be a solid play this week. On the other side of the ball, though, the Nick Bosa's out, but the good news for the 49ers, they're going to have Lenore back, their slot corner, and Tona Hofunga. I should just have Sky say that because I'm not going to be able to say it. But their really young, talented safety is back this week, too. So that's good for them. Bills at Rams. Dalton Kincaid expected to be out today. Keon Coleman, game time decision. Excuse me. But I think the Bills-Rams game should be a lot of fun. Obviously, with Dalton Kincaid out, Dawson Knox is an interesting dart throw tight end this week, as the Rams do allow a lot of fantasy points to the tight end position this season. Chargers at Chiefs, no J.K. Dobbins, no Hayden Hurst. Of course, out remaining, Will Dissly is probably my favorite streamer tight end this week. It gets a insane matchup against the Chiefs. Gus Edwards does have a tougher ground game matchup. Honestly, he's hard to trust. I would pivot to Sincere McCormick, for example, if you're looking at the bottom of the barrel. Bengals at Cowboys. There's still a lot of question marks in this game, but some notable ones. The Bengals last week talked about how they're missing a key guy on every level. Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle. Logan Wilson's now on IR, and DJ Turner in the secondary. So the Bengals are dealing with some injuries to some key guys at every single level, which should help the Dallas Cowboys. But the Cowboys offensive line is extremely banged up heading into this game. Tyler Smith should be in this week, which is good news, but Zach Martin is out. Tyler Guyton is questionable as well. So there's some key injuries to that offensive line for the Cowboys that could cause some problems, even with the Bengals injuries. Jake Ferguson is back in, and we're still waiting on news about Trayvon Diggs as well. So we'll get more information when we get it on those guys. But obviously, as of today, it looks like there's going to be some injuries up front for those Cowboys. All right, that's all the injuries for today, and I believe we'll bring in the whole team now, and we'll talk about the second hour. But I do believe, Derek, you did say there isn't any weather concerns today. Is that true?
That is correct. No major weather concerns today.
All right. Sky, back to you, my friend.
George Pickens out. Martavis Bryant is in all my lineups, guys. I'm fine. I beat the waiver wire last week. Good to go. Missed out on Plaxico, but should be fine with Martavis here. Lots of upside. Concerned about Russell Wilson. Do we stick with Wilson or do we go with Will Levis or Aiden O'Connell? Just talked about both of them quite a bit in the last couple of questions. Dave?
Wow, this is a great question. I'm sticking with Wilson, but it's a coin flip over him or Aiden O'Connell for me. I love the Levis matchup, but I think they'll probably be able to run the ball quite a bit on Jacksonville. So I would go with Russell Wilson, but Aiden O'Connell I can definitely see pivoting to. I like his matchup against Tampa.
Yep. All right, boys, we have about 40 minutes left. We've got about 10,000 questions, so I'm going to make mine quick. Sure, take a shot on Aiden O'Connell against the Bucs. The weather is good here in Tampa. It's not too hot. So boots on the ground. Bob loves to hear that. Give me O'Connell against the Bucs. Russell Wilson is a close second, and I believe Dave is right with Pollard's going to run more than Levis is going to throw. You're on mute, Jeff. And thank you, Cosmo, for the donation. Much appreciated.
Appreciate it, Cosmo. Yeah, I want to go with O'Connell on this one, but I'm going to roll with Will Levis.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going with O'Connell slightly over Wilson with Pickens out.
Aiden O'Connell for me.
I'll go Levis too. I'm not sure this is super helpful. Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, Russ is a shoe-in with Pickens, but I'm going to stick with Jeff. He's been repping him since Tuesday's show with Will Levis, so I'm going to stick with it. Thank you, Cosmo. Appreciate the contribution here. You got a second question here. Good morning. Need to start one at flex, half PPR. Devontae Adams, BTJ, Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I want to say Devontae Adams, but I'm feeling better about Brian Thomas Jr. today, even with the Mac Jones at quarterback. I'll take Brian Thomas against Tennessee.
Brian Thomas for me.
Brian Thomas as well.
Yeah, let's make that 4.
God, I feel like it's an Amari Cooper week. I feel like he's going to get it done against the Rams finally. That being said, I am good with Brian Thomas as well.
I absolutely love Amari Cooper. 6 for 205, 4 touchdowns. Give me BTJ. Pick one. Micah, good morning. Brock Purdy without Trent Williams again. Caleb Williams, Derek Carr. Dave?
Well, you won't have to worry about the weather out here. Geez. I want to say Derek Carr, but he's the kind of guy that's going to have 201 or 2 touchdowns. I'm going to take a shot at Caleb Williams. He's actually been running the ball quite a bit in the last few weeks since Shane Waldron's been gone. So I'll take Caleb Williams here.
Not touching 49ers this week. I'm going to stay consistent. Give me Derek Carr because I cannot contractually select the other name.
Yeah, I actually like Derek Carr in this one against the Giants on the road, so I'm going to go with Derek Carr.
Yeah, I do as well. I like Derek Carr this week, and I do like him over the other 2 as well. So give me Derek Carr.
Brock Purdy at home.
God. Yeah, just please. Brock Purdy at home. Can't lose to the Bears. I don't even hate the Bears. We just can't lose to the Bears. Brock Purdy at home. Mike has got another one here. Pick 2. Keenan Allen, Devonta Smith, Deebo Samuel. Massive game for Deebo coming up here, guys. Or Quentin Johnston, who was super fun.
Oh, don't say that.
Bob, you ready for Deebo Day? That's what we call it in the Bay Area. We call it Deebo Day. Dave?
I dropped just before we dive in, I dropped Deebo for Braylon Allen. My opponent, who's just not even, he picks up Deebo, puts him in his flex, and I'm just like, I know it's going to happen now. I know in my must win, I picked
Deebo
up
Day,
Braylon
let's
Allen.
make it happen.
I'll burn the entire Razzball NFL side to the ground if that happens. Okay.
I'm of the view that Sky is speaking ironically. So I'm staying away from Deebo and Quentin Johnston. Give me Keenan Allen and Devontae Smith here.
Same. I'm with Dave. Give me Keenan Allen and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I agree. Keenan Allen's been playing actually pretty well. The best 2 games as a Bear, so keep rolling with Allen and Devontae.
I just don't see what the need for Devonta Smith, and the Eagles with the Panthers. I just don't see why he's. I mean, obviously the matchup's very good. Don't get me wrong, but he's. I just don't see it. I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing apparently. So I'm not going that way. I'll go Keenan Allen and I will go Deebo.
I'm going Deebo and Smith.
I'll go Keenan and Smith. Derek, for me, it's Goddard being out, which is a thing. And yes, the Panthers don't give up a lot of passing yards because they don't have to. Saquon will run for 300 yards, but that's in the first half. They still have to play in the second half. And Devontae hasn't played in a while, so I think they keep him warm.
Would you start Deebo or Thielen this week?
Thielen. I'm actually doing that.
Thielen. Yeah.
Against the Eagles, which sucks, but I'm doing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game script.
Me too.
Deebo's going off today, so
Deebo Day.
Yeah.
Deebo Day, apparently. So I'm just going to be absolutely furious.
Don't tell Ice Cube though. That's kind of sketch if you're Ice Cube. But let's move forward.
He can take that necklace right off your neck.
The Green Ranger. I jumped off last week in the second hour just because I had family duties, which I apologize to the fans. But this is the guy that came up right after I left, and I was so disappointed because I wanted to talk to you guys about Power Rangers. Now we're behind the sticks. I don't want Matt and Bob to get upset with me about time management, which some people in the NFL can't handle. So I'm going to save it.
Oh, this is
but spoiler
becoming
alert.
the Matt Eberflus of podcast hosting.
Spoiler alert. The Green Ranger, which of course turned into the White Ranger, later in the series. It's debatable. I'll save it for another time. Full PPR, the legend that used to be Nick Chubb or Travis Etienne, who might be worse than his brother.
Yeah, I want to say ETN. I just don't trust the workload. I'm gonna go with Chubb here. I know he hasn't been particularly great, but he has been getting touches. So give me the opportunity for the upside with Chubb.
ETN, and I hate it.
I'm gonna go with Chubb. I don't trust the Jags right now. And they're splitting with Tank Bigsby, who's finally healthy again, so he might steal some carries.
Yeah, I agree. I'm leading Chubb here. I don't really care for either one, frankly, to roll the dice with. But if you have to, it's going to be Nick Chubb.
Travis Etienne for me.
Etienne. Trevor looks sick. Cam, good morning. Anchor down. Love it. Pick one flex, full PPR. Neighbors. McConkey, Shakira, or Garendo?
For me, if it's one guy, I'm going to go with the running back. Give me Garendo against the Bears.
Absolutely not. Shakir by a mile for these four. It's not this. Everybody text me when this is over. Shakir is going to have an absolute monster game today.
So Shakir day then?
Yeah, and I'll even do a Shakira dance when he scores.
Oh my dude!
Only my wife will see it.
Hey, no, Matt. You cannot throw that out there, and only my wife will see that. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a video, or it didn't happen. That's
by the way.
That's the rules.
Guess whose hips don't lie?
Yours. I want to see it.
No, that was a steamroll worthy of Looney Tunes, but like Wile E. Coyote, I'll just pick myself up off the pavement and soldier on.
There's got to be a video on the cruise ship of him shaking it.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I don't know what's worse, that those words just came out of Matt's mouth, or the fact that I
immediately
had an image. I had an image of Matt doing the Shakira dance, and it actually got in there. And I don't know if we're going to see that.
Bob, I'm not a doctor, but I promise you, you cannot poke out your mind's eye. That's there for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to go throw up. I'll be right back.
I'm going to go Shakir to keep it back on track.
That boy, Jeff. Way to be a professional. Good word.
Yeah, if we had confirmation that McConkey was going to be out there, I might go that way. But just on the interest of safety, it's going to be Shakir for me.
I from what I've heard, McConkey's playing. I haven't heard anything that he is. I guess Ian Rappaport said he's a true game decision. Yeah, that's stupid. I would love to just go Ladd, but I don't think you can. They're a late window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
tonight.
Tonight.
Oh, it's the tonight game.
Yeah.
So then you really can't roll the dice. Yeah. Honestly, I like Shakir too, full PPR.
Boy.
It would be Ladd, but like you said, I don't know if I could really roll the dice, I guess, but
yeah, I don't want to go too much into this, but for me, it's a record thing. If you're like playing to get in, you need to start players. You don't want to take risks today. I would go Garendo, Shakir, then Neighbors, and I'm not going to take a chance on Ladd. If I'm good and I have a solid roster otherwise, I'm going to take a risk on McConkey. The problem is, if you don't get that, you need to have a backup immediately available for somebody. So Josh Palmer, I guess, is probably the most available. So I would go for that, but I want Ladd if possible. All right, Herbert or Kyler?
Kyler for me.
Kyler for me. This will not be 16-6 Seattle, Arizona. This is going to be like the scoreboard game. Kyler for me.
Kyler as well.
Yeah, Cam, just before we get too far along, VU, love it. Anchor down, buddy. And I'm going Kyler as well.
Nice.
I'm going Herbert.
Herbert, week 4, 16 for 27, 173, 1 touchdown, QB 22. That was in LA. This one's in Kansas City. Go Ducks. Fade Herbert. I'll go Kyler. You're very welcome, Cam. Thank you.
We addressed this earlier. That's the super chat. So we're going to pop down to JC.
That's Leone, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
JC Dub, 10 fitting, full PPR. I have a buy locked up. Whoa. Humble brag season. Love to see that.
Nice.
Like to see that. I also have an open roster spot. Which RB to add? Corum, Chris Rodriguez on a buy. Ray Davis, Ibanaconda, which I picked up everywhere as well. There's also Taylor available. Packers legend, Patrick Taylor. Let's see. We got our open roster spot, gentlemen. We're looking ahead here. Jeff gave us a preview on Tuesday. We're looking ahead. Love to see this for JC Dub. What do you got, Dave?
Yeah, I like Ray Davis the best out of all these guys.
Yeah, Ray Davis for me. Corum would hold value, but they don't run enough outside of Kyron. So give me Ray Davis.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ray Davis as well. The Bills have been running the ball a lot lately, and I've just got a feeling we may have Ray Davis in the playoffs.
Yeah, take the best situation on the best team, and to me, that's going to be Ray Davis.
Yeah, I don't really have the season there, the playoff schedule, but I guess my question though is like, do you have any of the guys? Do you have Kyron? Do you have James Cook? Would be my first question here, because that honestly, if I have James Cook, I'd rather have Ray Davis. If I have Kyron Williams, or I have Blake Corum, I'd rather just lock up that last spot for me. So that would kind of sway me one way or the other. But in a vacuum, Ray Davis has shown a lot more, but they'd be pretty close.
Ray Davis has been my guy since the handcuff episode. I'm going to stick with it. Corum is a quick second. Ibanaconda scoring a touchdown today, gentlemen. Might have 2 carries, but he's getting a touchdown. I like it. Deep DFS dart throw. Second question here, full PPR. Thoughts on Zach Ertz? You guys remember Zach Ertz? He was a menace in Philadelphia. Week 16, we're looking way ahead here. He gets the Eagles in Washington, dropping Taysom Hill. Good move, out for the season. Try to add Ertz and play the matches between Otten and Ertz. All right, so basically Otten or Ertz moving through the fantasy playoffs, I think, is what this comes down to. Full PPR, Dave.
Yeah, Otten's slowed down quite a bit since Evans came back, so I'm fine with Ertz here. He's scored touchdowns in 3 straight games, and he's had plenty of targets in those games as well. So I'll take Ertz over Otten.
Ertz should be on your roster. He should not be on the waiver wire. Drop Taysom Hill, add Ertz. Start Otten this week clearly because Ertz is on a bye, and then look at the matchups down the stretch. But I really like the way Otten's schedule plays out.
Yeah, we talked about Otten on our pod on Tuesday. Yeah, you got to keep rolling with Cade. But yeah, definitely pick up Ertz, but I think Cade's going to turn it around come playoff time.
Yeah, I just happened to write about this very topic just about yesterday in my playoff preview. I've got Cade Otten as a start for the playoffs, so I do like that. Ertz is all right. I also want to just throw out Chigo Konkwu and Juwan Johnson as possible tight end streamers to keep an eye on as well. So yeah, I don't mind Ertz as much to balance with Otten, but also look at Chig and Juwan as well.
We did a whole episode on this, JCW. We did, me and Derek broke this down, or was it? Yeah, it was me and you, Derek, right? That we did all the streamers.
Not this week. I wasn't on this week.
Oh, I don't know. I did a show on this. I don't know who it was with at this point.
Dave, I think it was Dave.
Dave, was it Dave?
It was me.
All right. Thanks for not saying anything, Dave. Dave's like, I'm just gonna make him look like an idiot.
I just wanted to test your memory. I mean,
I don't know, man.
You're borderline needing help, dude.
I do. That's a fact. Wow.
Shots
okay.
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah. So, you know what? That's the end of our shows, Dave. Anyway, but
I'll be back next week, Bob.
Yeah, no, thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know who's on the show with me anymore. I'm like wandering around, just start calling you guys each other's names. Anyway, honestly, I don't really care for either of these guys in week 16. We talked a little bit about some of this stuff on there. Some of the guys have really good matchups. Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, Pat Firemuth even has a solid matchup here too. So I think if none of those guys are available, I'd grab them. In a vacuum, I'd probably be okay, I guess, with Zach Ertz. over Otten slightly, but I'm not really excited about either of those guys week 16.
I'm gonna go Otten through the playoffs. Quick question: you don't have to rat yourself out. I'm a puppy guy. I've got two myself here. They act up. You don't have to say who it is, but what type of dog is barking? I'm curious.
In your home or in my home?
Yours.
Okay. Do you want to know the answer?
Yeah.
Or are you're going to make them guess?
No. I'm asking you what type of dog you have.
That is my rescue boxer. We believe he may be fixed before his nuts drop, so it's a little bit of a high pitched.
You don't want that for males, dude. 2 years usually for males, but I won't get into it. Rescue. I'm team rescue all day long. Good for you.
The rescue did it before. It was their policy, no kill shelter, so I'm not arguing with them.
Good for you, man. Right on. We are pro dog on the program. Moving forward.
Except
Look at that.
Bob has cats. Bob has cats.
That couldn't be further. When did this start? I literally have a dog. All right. This is insane.
If you say it enough on the internet, like Derek mentioned, it's the truth.
It becomes true.
That's
true.
That's
Hey, George Costanza once said, "It's not a lie if you believe it."
I believe Bob has cats. I truly believe that.
Cosmo, right on cue here with the beautiful golden retriever. I assume it's kind of small there, but beautiful pup there, Cosmo. Half PPR, Braylon Allen or JSN?
Half PPR, I'm going to go Braylon Allen. I love JSN. He's been great, but I'm going to take the running back.
Yeah, I think Dave's right. The answer should be running back, but I'm going to play JSN, who is absolutely smoking fire hot right now for fantasy football. I'm not sitting him. And the other reason is I don't think it's a 16-6 Seattle Cardinals game. I think it's going to be higher scoring. So give me JSN, and I'm okay being wrong.
I like Braylon Allen, just like the volume more. With Kenneth Walker out, I'm curious to see how the Seahawks look.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Braylon Allen as well. I don't have a lot of faith in Aaron Rodgers to get the passing game going, so that looks like a Braylon Allen day to me. If they have the wherewithal to even show up and play this game, but it's going to be Braylon Allen.
Man, half PPR makes me want to go Allen here. I know he had 6 for 77 and won the last time they two teams faced off for JSN, but yeah, I'm gonna go Braylon Allen, half PPR.
Yeah, same. Boy, I really want to go JSN. I'm with Matt actually. I think they're really neck and neck, but in half PPR, I'm going to lean Braylon Allen. And Matt, when you mentioned something like a good dumpster fire, I just think shades of Chico State, where they burn the couches at the end of each term. They put them in the middle of the street and they light all the couches on fire and they have a party. So that's kind of like the good version of a dumpster fire. So that might be JSN lately, but I'll go with Braylon Allen today.
Do you know how many reasons Chico State students need to party?
Oh, -5, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's -10 now. It's been a long time.
Bob, a couple folks here gunning for your job. Wow. Savage wants to report that before you did. And so does Scott. And you can't really say negative things about either one of them. Savage is an OG.
I unfortunately cannot.
Lions fan, and Scott gives us money and is always there. So there you go. And somebody internal to the show actually did it too. I don't know who that was.
That looks like Jeff's handwriting.
Yep. Yeah. And this one too. Wow. I guess Bob was talking on the back end and will not allow somebody on the show to break injury news. So, wow.
Well, breaking news in a different front just out. Oregon gets the #1 seed in a bye in the college playoffs. Who saw that coming? And Miami and Alabama are out.
I'm not an Alabama hater, but that makes me happy.
Yeah, Alabama should be out. Miami should be in.
Did SMU get in?
SMU got in, number 11.
Look at that. Nice. That's a Saturday football for those of you keeping track at home. Oh, the Ducks, 2 buys in 3 weeks. Love to see that. I can take a breath. Good Lord. All right, Sunday. Marius, Pickett's out today, according to the Bob's injury report. Pick 2, Calvin Austin. Big fan of Russell Wilson as a child. Now he's catching touchdown passes. That's just warms my heart. Malik Neighbors, who all of us want to start but won't, and Calvin Ridley, who might be the second best wide receiver in Tennessee.
I'll take Ridley for sure. And, Calvin Austin's been getting some run even with Neighbors. I mean, even with Pickens in. The Neighbors situation just makes me nervous. I'm going to lean Calvin Austin as the second guy.
Ridley for me, and I don't feel it to be real close.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ridley by a long shot.
Let's pick two.
Two.
Oh, yeah, not Neighbors for me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Neighbors is healthy, so Austin and Ridley.
But if Brandon Cooks is on your wire, I'd probably start Cooks, a name like Cooks over Austin.
Ooh, nice.
Would
deep
you guys
grab
start
there.
Mike Williams or Calvin Austin?
Mike Williams doesn't play in the NFL anymore. Just
Yeah,
watch
Calvin
him.
Austin. Calvin Austin.
Yeah, I do like that that suggestion by Matt. To be honest with you, Brandon Cooks. I picked him up actually in one of my leagues. Put him in a flex position. But of the three choices here, Ridley for sure, and I'll go Austin as well.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
That feels good.
I'm probably gonna go Ridley and Neighbors. Just gonna enjoy the ride.
Sit Neighbors. Leone. Start two. Facts. I love the brain just doing the muscle ups there. That's really important, family. We all focus on our bodies. Well, a lot of us don't. Most people focus on their body. Focus on your brain. Start two. Jawan Jennings, Keenan Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Isaiah. Why do I say Isaac? It's a sick name, but that's not a name. Isaac Garendo. Dave?
I'll take Keenan Allen and Tyrone Tracy.
2. Sky, check your text.
I got it.
Yeah, we'll go Keenan Allen. And let's go Jawan Jennings.
Well, I want to go Jennings and Tracy. Yeah. Actually, we don't know what the situation here. PPR half. No, these are assuming 2 flex. I'm going to assume half PPR, and I'm going to take the 2 running backs. I'm going to just mix it up a little bit. 2 running backs, Tracy and Garendo.
I'm going to 249. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. I realized does it go Matt, Jeff, Derek back to Matt, and then how does that work? I thought the screen kind of gave it away how the order's going to go, but you know what? I don't like to make assumptions, so go ahead. Do you want to chime in real quick, or got it? Okay, cool. Okay, I'll get started. I'm going to go with the 49ers, guys. Let's do it. Jennings and Garendo.
Oh, God. Just mom and dad constantly arguing on this program is just fucking obnoxious.
Just remember, they always love each other.
Yeah, no, I know. You don't go to bed angry. Like, I know the rules.
Sky, it's not your fault.
Christ.
The divorce isn't your fault, Sky. We love you still. Mom and dad don't love each other anymore.
Fucking Jesus. All right. I feel like I can't fade both Niners. I'll go Garendo and Keenan Allen.
Yeah. What I was going to say for facts is that rarely do we get all of the names spelled correctly. Now, he did miss Junior for Tracy, but Jawan is often misspelled on our show, and Garendo, most people are throwing the extra R in there, so good on facts.
Nice job. Well, facts.
Before we move on, Derek, what was the
I was gonna say that was just all over the place. We don't have a consensus, to be honest with you. We like all 4, so sorry.
That's terrible news. Sorry,
that is not brain fitness. We did not.
But that actually might not be a bad thing. Like it makes you feel like you're not going to make if you make a decision, there wasn't a consensus. So even if you're right or wrong, it's like, yeah, it wasn't that easy. So don't hate yourself like I do all the time.
And then blame it on the show.
Yeah. I always blame you guys. This is the best. That's why I'm probably going to go Braylon Allen over Tracy today, so I could yell at Sky all afternoon. So I'm excited.
Sky, clear giveaway that Leone is a burner.
Yeah, no, we know.
Yeah. New burner, baby.
All right, we have 17 minutes here. Purdy or Stafford for Marius?
I'm going to take Purdy over Stafford this week.
Stafford for me, game script Stafford.
I'm going to lean Stafford as well.
Yeah, I see the Rams having to throw. Give me Stafford at home.
Yeah, Stafford home.
Stafford at home. Derek, unrelated, looking at my lineups here because we also have to set our lineups as it's not my turn. In the Tennessee-Jacksonville game, I have a little cloud with some rain sprinkles on my icon. Can you just double check the weather in the NFL really quick, please?
Yeah.
Or somebody else if Derek's busy?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. Next up. All right, Jets fan who lives in New York. Danny
Drew Lock
DeVito.
starting.
Oh,
Drew Lock starting. so it
not
doesn't
Danny
matter.
DeVito. Sorry. Okay, so Aiden O'Connell.
Correct.
Next. Okay, Michael, Matt, stay out of this.
I'm not going to say a word.
Michael, I have Ladd. I could start Debo on Debo Day or wait for Ladd. If he doesn't play, I could pivot to a Monday. Do we like Tolbert or Josh Palmer? See, this is the type of deep diving we're looking for in week 14. Way to go, Michael. Let's help him through it.
So it comes down to Tolbert, Josh Palmer, or Debo. I guess if Ladd doesn't play, I could take a flyer on Palmer. I don't really. I know it's a great matchup against Cincinnati, but Tolbert hasn't really been doing much, and Cooks is back. And I hate to sit Debo for Josh Palmer. But I'm going to go ahead with Josh Palmer.
I'm starting Ladd if we get info that he's playing. That is the afternoon game. I believe the Niners are they at 1 o'clock or are they an afternoon?
Sunday night
Niners
football
are
is
the afternoon.
Okay, so you have time to make that decision based on Ladd or Debo. Those would probably be if Ladd plays Ladd, if not, play Debo. Go with who you drafted. But if Brandon Cooks is available for that Monday night game, I would lean towards Brandon Cooks over either Tolbert or Josh Palmer. And Sky,
Yes,
I did not pronounce his last name. You're welcome.
good work. Good work.
Yeah, I'm going to go Debo over Ladd.
No, I'm going to wait for Ladd. And kind of like Matt said, if Brandon Cooks is available, that would be my pivot if Ladd doesn't play tonight. We were in that situation, I think, a week or even 2 weeks ago where he was a game time decision. He came out and just balled. So I'm going to go with the same. Chargers really need to win this game. And if he can get out there on the field, he's going to be out there for me. And then just real quick, Sky, I checked my weather sources. It looks like most of the rain that you're seeing is supposed to be post-game. So there might be some rain during, but it's going to be light rain, and the wind is really not too much of a factor either.
Great. Thank you, sir. Bob?
I'm going Ladd McConkey and pivoting to Josh Palmer if he's ruled out.
Yep, I'm going to go Ladd too. And actually, I would go to Tolbert over Josh Palmer. So Ladd, Tolbert for me. Jets fan back. Pick one to sit. Half PPR. Elijah Moore, DK Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, Dowdle, and Irving. Spoiler alert, I think I'm starting Westbrook Akine over DK Metcalf. That's a rescue boxer for those of you keeping track at home.
Yeah, it's a tough call, but for me, I'm going to sit Metcalf as well.
I'm going to sit Elijah Moore.
Ooh, that's Dave's guy. The old 9 targets a game.
Yeah, man. I'm going to say DK as well.
I agree with Matt again. I'm sitting Elijah Moore here.
Yeah, I'm sitting Moore. Not agreeing with Matt, though. Just same
Fair.
name.
You're agreeing with
different.
me.
No, honestly, Derek, I don't know if I'm agreeing with you either. Like the fact that, like, I asked if you were on the show with me on Wednesday, and you were like, "No, like, what are you stupid?" Like, honestly, I don't really care for that either. So at this point, Dave doesn't talk. I don't even know what's going on with Jeff over there. Honestly, apparently he wrote in a bunch of stuff because he looked like Sky said it was his handwriting. So I don't even know what's happening anymore with this group.
Yeah.
All I'll say is Jeff has been nothing but professional today.
No, that's what he is.
leave
Jeff's
him
just a
alone.
good clubhouse guy, dude. He shows up to work. He's Raphael for a call. You know what I
He's
mean?
got that lunch pail.
Yeah,
hard hat.
I mean,
Love
he's even got a reflector vest. You know, I mean,
Love
like
that.
safety,
Safety
first. for Jay.
first.
Safety.
Exactly.
Hey, Dave,
I did.
Dave, you're on the show Wednesday. I'm out.
Nice.
He's out.
There you go.
I
Everyone's
will
out.
tell you this.
Okay.
I did see Jeff take an
I
entire
wouldn't-
bucket
well,
of
if you were on the
I,
show,
I, I fear I'm no longer welcome.
He won't remember. Don't worry.
See, I probably feel about myself thinking you guys are all on. This is a hecto box. What's going on?
Clubhouse guy or not, I did see Jeff take an entire bucket of Bazooka Joe home. So hopefully that's it's coming out of his paycheck.
Holy
But
shit,
yeah,
the little
good Clubhouse
comics,
guy,
right?
He likes the comics, that's why.
He does have kids, so I let it slide.
Yeah, it's like Playboy and Bazooka Joe are basically the same. Like you buy it, you read the comics,
Yeah.
pass it off to the next person. I love
Exactly the same but different.
that. Right. Well, different authors and illustrators. And anyway, okay. DK Metcalf has been brutalized by the Cardinals. Big day for Tyler Lockett probably today. I'll sit Elijah Moore though. I gotta just count on DK Metcalf. So this is going to be a gut. Leone, Bob gives great speeches, especially when he's the best man. Bob,
Disagree.
30 seconds or less. Backstory.
Yeah, I did a best man speech a few years ago. Had a flip chart, and I explained what marriage means to the groom. And it was a flip chart. Every letter said something like M meant something, A meant something, R. It's actually, you can find it. I'll share it with the team so you guys can all watch.
That's a
No, you can leave me off that. Thanks.
I'm putting you on it now.
All right, 10 minutes to kick off, gentlemen. Let's buckle down. Oh, God. Dominic, choose one. Full PPR. D-Hop at the Chargers. Devontae Adams at Miami. Let's DJ Moore. No. Yeah. At the 49ers.
I'll take DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, San Francisco's just too banged up.
I'm gonna go Hopkins.
Yeah, more for me.
Hopkins.
Moore.
Verdict.
Lost.
By the way, we got to give a second, Scott. I got to let Derek write it down.
That was 4-2. 4-2 more.
4-2. All right.
Okay. Some of these are landslides, so sorry. I try to, when it's close, I try to stick around, but you're right. You're right, Bob. Thank you. JP, lost Brees and PPR. RIP. Big day for Davis. What? Need to pick between Gus Edwards versus the Chefs, Trey Benson, or Algier?
I don't really care for Gus Edwards in PPR, but I think he's probably going to have more touches than either of the other two guys. So I'm going to go with Edwards.
Yeah, I think the right call in real football is Algier, but I'm going to go with Gus Edwards and hope for volume.
Yeah, hopefully Gus scores a touchdown. But yeah, he gets all the volume out of the three.
Yeah, Benson we're starting to see a little bit more about him, but it's just not going to be enough. Need some volume today. Give me Gus Edwards.
Say Gus.
Chiefs are pretty brutal. I'm going to go Algier. Derek, what was the verdict on that one?
That was 4-1-1.
4-1. That's the info hotline back in the day.
Yep, 4-1-1.
4-1-1.
Nice.
We answered this guy. He was just clarifying now that DeVito is out, so we all went O'Connell.
Correct.
Over Drew Lock.
Yes. D. Robinson.
I guess Marcus Robinson.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Freiermuth.
Same.
Freiermuth.
Freiermuth.
Sorry, Derek. Freiermuth.
Yep. DeMarcus, though, catches a touchdown every week. It's weird, but Freiermuth. Freiermuth.
He's no
Jeff, you want to take
Westbrook
this?
though.
Yep.
Jeff, you want to take this one?
I speak for everybody here. Never Pitts.
There you go.
T-shirts will be printed.
Yep.
Bob, we appreciate the injury report,
Scott,
Bob.
thank you. Too many compliments for Bob today.
Scott, you
thank
sweet angel.
Nope, moving on.
Just
We got to
softly
roll.
caressing your head right now. Thank you, Scott. Such a
Scott,
good
do
boy.
you want to do a Wednesday show with Bob?
You want to be called Dave or Derek? Join the show.
We should do one of those like the old cereal box things. Like you enter to win, and the win is like to do a show with Bob. I think that'd be fun. Start two. Lightning
Worst
bets.
prize.
Good morning.
Should be the worst prize ever.
Good
No
morning.
one redeems it.
Start two. Start the question. Kyler or Tua? We got to start two of these guys. Neighbors, limited role. Sterling Shepard, Nick Chubb, or Hawkinson.
I like Tua at home over Kyler at home, and I'm going to start Chubb and Hawkinson.
Give me Tua ever so slightly above Kyler, and got to start two. Give me Shepard and Hawkinson.
Shepard's Matt's guy. But I'm going to go Tua and then Chubb. I'm going to go Hawkinson.
Tua, Chubb, Hawkinson.
Tua,
Same as Derek.
Tua, Shepard, and
Chubb.
Hawkinson.
Sterling. All right.
Oh, sorry, I got delayed there. Sorry, Bob. Full PPR. Thank you. Also full PPR, Jacoby Myers, DJ Moore.
All in.
I'll take Myers against the Buccaneers.
DJ Moore. 16 targets last week.
Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, we've been prepping Aiden O'Connell all day today. He's going to hit link up with Jacoby Myers, so I'll take that one.
Jacoby Myers, baby. We were breaking down him on the recent episode. We're all in on him for rest of season, me and Ben. So we like Jacoby.
Yes, it could also be Ben and I. Ben, by the way, folks, Ben is the #1 ranker on Fantasy Pros ECR for quarterbacks. Look it up. #1 on the season. Ben Wasley. Shouts out to our friend down under. Jacoby Myers for me.
All right, we got to roll. Let's move.
Steven, stuck in a bind. CJ Stroud on a bye. We got Russell Wilson without Pickens or Derek Carr.
I'm pretty sure I'll be alone with Russell Wilson. I just don't see the big numbers out of Carr.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Carr.
Russell.
Russ. I think that's a split.
That's a split.
Johnny, Rudy is down on Garendo, high on Najee. Oh, Rudy. You guys feel the same? Non-PPR Garendo or Najee?
I'm fine with Najee and non-PPR.
Same with Najee. Remember, Rudy is a baseball guy first and has been eliminated in Scott Fishbowl. Give me Najee.
Najee for me.
Yeah,
I'm going
Najee.
against all the bosses. So.
Garendo, and it's not even close for me.
Garendo, and it's close. Mon Pena Jr. Oh, boy, we got a lot here. We got a full lineup. Jefferson, you guys can read it. We don't have time for me to go through all this stuff here. We're basically building a lineup, essentially. 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex.
So it's a wide receiver, 2, a running back, 2, and a flex. I'm going to take Myers as the wide receiver, 2. I will take Charbonnet as the running back, 2. And as a flex, I'll take Mooney.
Same.
Yeah, those 3, Myers, Mooney. And actually, I'm going to go Westbrook-Akine.
You need a running back in
Oh,
there.
shit.
You got to have a running back.
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet.
Jeff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Charbonnet clearly running back 2. I like Myers and Mooney as well.
Charbonnet, Jennings, Myers for me.
Mooney, Myers, Charbonnet. Ridley, Tyreek.
I'm going to take Ridley against the Jaguars.
Tyreek for 15 targets today.
I'm going to go Tyreek.
Like that.
Wow, it just seems wrong to pick against Tyreek, but I'd prefer Ridley.
Ridley as well.
Same. Ridley.
4-2 Ridley.
Corey Felder.
I believe our answer was more Chubb, 4-2 Chubb. If not, it was 3-3.
Derek?
Yeah,
Let's
I
see,
gotta find it.
Yeah,
it.
you'll find it.
Come
We'll
back
go
to
back.
it. Taco
It
was
was-
good. Roma. Oh, good.
It was 3-3.
3-3. Sorry about that.
Corey.
Adunze Cooper, wide receiver 2. Yeah, it's bad.
Wow. I'll take a flyer on Cooper against the Rams.
Cooper for me, we got 1 minute.
Cooper.
We said 3 of each. I
Yep.
can change my selection to Chubb if you want 4-2, but it was 3-3.
Dwan Jennings, Garrett Wilson, Kate Otten, Ferguson.
I'm going to take Garrett Wilson. I'm going to take Ferguson.
Wilson and Otten.
Wilson and Ferguson.
Wilson and Ferguson.
Jennings and Ferguson.
Jennings and Ferguson. Keenan Allen or Maserati Marv.
I'll take Allen as a safe play.
Harrison.
Allen.
Allen.
Harrison.
Allen.
That was Allen 4-2.
Yep.
Final one. Let's wrap it up, and then Bob can hit the music.
Good morning, beautiful people. Disley or Abdullah?
I'll take Disley.
Disley. Beautiful people, Marilyn Manson. Somebody cue it up.
Disley.
Disley as well.
By the way, we didn't do Ducks this entire time. We dropped the
Bob,
ball.
they're on a bye. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
The Ducks go Ducks. All right, boys. Thanks for joining us once again, folks. Thank you to the Quad Box. Thanks for joining the Razzball Fantasy YouTube
Hecto
channel,
Box,
guys.
Bob.
A lot of fun. Hecto. Sorry, you're right. Hecto Box. Double threes there. All right, boys.
We forgot me and Derek.
Don't worry about it,
I
Dave.
always,
Go on,
I
of
haven't
course he
remembered you
did.
guys. Apparently, I don't remember you guys ever, so it doesn't matter.
Don't worry about
Thanks
it,
for joining, guys. Enjoy the games. Go make the playoffs and join us. We'll be here for every single playoff preview, weeks 50 through 17, folks. Thanks for joining. We are out of
Dave,
here.
happy